Yo, what's the deal? What's good? What's good? What's good? Let y'all come through here real quick. What's the deal? What's the deal? What is the deal? Let y'all fall through real quick. Let y'all fall through real quick. Y'all let me know what the deal is. Y'all let me know what the deal is. Y'all let me know what's up. Make sure hitting that like button when y'all come through. Make sure hitting that like button when y'all come through. Make sure hitting that like button. Hold on, wait. Some news just dropped. Make sure you're hitting that like button when y'all come through. Make sure you hit that like button when y'all come through. Already. Let some of y'all fall through real quick. Yeah, make sure you hitting that like button. I see more people coming through, but the likes ain't going up. Make sure you hitting that like button. Comment, let me know y'all up in here. Let me know y'all up in here. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good, Pram? What's good, Tony? What's the deal? What's good with y'all? What's good on y'all end? Y'all let me know what's good. Y'all let me know what's good on y'all end. I know y'all seen the depth chart. We're gonna talk about that. Talk about the depth chart. For the preseason game. About to be sad. The preseason already here. We already here. We already here, ready for the preseason. Yeah. I seen the official depth chart. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it. Wait for some more people come through here. What's up, DK? What's good with you, bro? I said, make sure you're hitting that like button. Comment, let me know y'all up in here too. I said, make sure you're hitting that like button. Comment, let me know y'all up in here. Let me know what's good with y'all. I knew that with Pierce having a good camp, he wasn't gonna start. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, you talk about what was Pierce, a fourth? Was he a fourth round pick? Was he a fourth round or third round pick? Fourth round. Fourth round. I think he was the first pick or the second pick in the fourth round. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that he's not gonna start day one. Like, but then it's actually officially we don't even have a day one yet. We don't know what's gonna happen during training. We don't know what's gonna happen during the preseason because technically it ain't even day one yet. But hey, it is what it is. Nothing much, bro. Chilling. How you been? I've been good. Been good. I've been good. Getting ready for the season to start. Just just like with Blacklock, he had a good camp, but he's not gonna start over Lopez. Nah, I think that I think Lopez got some talent. I actually like Lopez. I think Lopez got some talent. You hear that news about the 20% dropping on concussion food concessions food at the games. Yeah, I actually did see that. I seen like this a couple menu items got discounted, so I definitely seen that. I definitely seen the discount prices. Was good. Orlando and LA. Want to out there, man, dog. I'm actually glad you mentioned that. 'Cause I'm gonna get in there too. That was some ridiculous stuff, bro. That was some straight up ridiculous stuff that occurred over the weekend. It was really lame activity, but I'm actually happy to see it because I think it does something. I think it's good. I think it's good. Good for the NBA. Even though I think what was said and what was done really is lame activity, but we could talk about. We gonna break it down later on. And hey, shout out to Fox 26 as well. Shout out to Fox 26. No way the Texans was selling hot dogs. Hey, you'll be surprised what drunk people will buy when they drunk at a game. You'll be surprised. I'm pretty sure they was making money, but they wasn't making money last year. Now they was making money the previous 19 seasons, or maybe not 20. They was they were making money the previous 19 seasons. Especially, I could tell you they were especially making money in 2019, 2018, 2012, and 2011, 2002, 2003, like 2010, those seasons, 2009, like when the team first got here, when it peaked, when you get franchise quarterback, things like that going to the play, they was making money. They could have charged $100 for some hot dogs, and people gonna buy them things because people at a game drunk. They watching their team win. They watching their team put on a show. They watching football be back in Houston, like I said, in the 2002 and 2003 season. But they definitely was buying stuff. They definitely was buying stuff. They definitely was buying stuff. You ain't missed nothing yet. We just not getting started. We just getting started. When you seen that video with Paulo, I didn't know that huge. Oh yeah, Paulo a big dude. Yeah, Paulo a big dude. Like he a solid. Like I was, I think he's like 250. He a solid 250, and yeah, he's solid 250. Was he like 6'10" and a half without shoes? So he really like 6'11" when he on the court. Like yeah, yeah, and he only 19. So I mean, there's a chance that he could be a 7 footer by the time it's all over with though. I can't believe he tried to take his. Yeah, that's why I feel like at the end of the day, it was like really lame activity because all that for a pro-am, like Murray was acting like it was uh like it was the NBA playoffs. Murray acted like he was getting ready to go to the finals. That's why I shout out to the Ozone podcast. I tweeted them because I commented on one of their tweets talking about it. Well, it was like the little video clip they had that when I first seen it. And I said, did Murray just win the MVP or something? Like he act like he won the league MVP or something. Like I don't know what was on dude's mind. I don't know what was on dude's mind. I really don't. I don't know what was on his mind. Like he act like he. I don't get what he was doing. I really don't. I don't understand. Don't get what he was doing. Uh, at the end of the day, I think it's actually good for basketball because I'm sick of this whole everybody want to be best friends. Everybody want to everybody wants to team up. Everybody wants to. What happened to the days when people was going at each other's throats? What happened to the days when people were trying to cross somebody and break somebody's ankles and try to dunk on people? And not to say they don't do that, but everybody is friends and everybody is cool, and yeah, that helps. You know what I'm saying? When you yeah, this helps when you trying to recruit somebody to your like somebody a free agent, you trying to recruit them to your team because you want to team up with them, or vice versa. But no, I'm sick of that. Let everybody let's get some real rivalries. Let's make some of these games a little bit more interesting. Outside people just watching because they fans of certain teams, and let's get this going. Let's actually get this going. Let's get this going, and let's be very competitive. So I like the jawing back and forth. I'm actually cool with that. I just think that at a pro am is kind of lame, and then kind of some of the stuff he was saying kind of was lame. So it is what it is. But like that's really all it is with that. But but yeah. So like I said, some news. The Texans actually just made a trade for a tight end from the Dolphins. They just traded for Adam Shaheen uh for I think what a seventh round pick, a sixth round pick, a seventh round pick. Uh, don't really know what that means To be honest with you, I really don't. I can't even really. To be honest with you, I really don't know what that actually means. Uh, because I looked at the depth chart. Farrell Brown's going to be the starter. We're going to talk about depth chart in a minute. For the first preseason game, Farrell Brown's going to be the starter, and then you also have Brevin Jordan, who I believe will be the starter later on this season. Or at the very least, like I can see Farrell Brown being the starter, but like you run a lot of two tight end sets, so uh, um Brevin Jordan's out there because I don't know if Brevin Jordan is an actual like tight end. He's a hybrid. He's a guy who you could throw the ball to. He's a guy who's gonna be able to get touchdowns and things like that, get yards. But I don't think he's a guy who you just line up as actual like you just line up as your tight end. Like I don't think you run them out there like Gronk. You ain't run them out there like Owen Daniels was back in the day. Like Owen Daniels, you're not running them out there. Obviously, like Kittle or what's the dude name Travis Kelsey. Um, he's a guy who's a tight end, but like he's a tight end because that's the position that he plays as tight end. But I don't know really what you get out of him actually from that same position. So that's why I see why he's not a starter. Like I said, I really don't know what this means about Adam. Doubt he plays Saturday because the trade happens today on Tuesday, and you only have 3 days. But who knows? He might be. He might get in. He might get some time in. I doubt it though. I definitely doubt that. I definitely doubt that he gets in, but. We'll see. We'll definitely see exactly if he will. We'll definitely see exactly if he'll get in. Like I said, I doubt he actually gets in, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Like I said, when it comes to the depth chart, let me look and see because that's I know that's what y'all guys want to talk about. Yeah, guys want to talk about depth chart, so we gonna talk about the actual depth chart. So, no surprise, Davis Mills is the starting quarterback. Kyle Allen is going to be the number two quarterback, and Jeff Driscoll they have him as a quarterback. He's third quarterback. The running back is Marlon Mack. The backup is Rex Burkhead, and third is going to be Damian Pierce. I know a lot of people probably come in my comment section. I know some people in particular because they think that Marlon Mack is going to rush for 1,000 yards. Don't see Marlon Mack rushing for 1,000 yards, but hey, people think of Marlon Mack gonna rush for 1,000 yards. I'm not surprised that Marlon Mack is the starter. I'm not surprised. He's the veteran. Um, Most accomplished. Not surprising at all. And wait, hold on, stop, pause. I see some more people in here, but the likes ain't going up at all. Make sure you're hitting that like button when y'all come through here now. Come on now. Make sure you're hitting that like button now. Come on. Don't do your boy like that. Make sure you're hitting that like button. But yeah, I mean it makes absolutely I mean it makes all the sense that Marlon Mack will be the starter. Um I do think that Damian will end up being the starter by the season end. I do think that he will be the starter by season end. The season hasn't even started yet, so don't sit up and throw a parade that Marlon Mack is the starter because we don't know what will happen by week one. But come on now, I'm not surprised he's a rookie, even though there's some rookies on here that we're gonna get to in a minute who are starters. He's a rookie, fourth round guy. Doesn't surprise me at all, but I don't think he will be in that position very long when the season gets here. I think by midway into the season, by the 10th game, by the season, which gives you a 7 more games because they extended the season, obviously. By the 10th game of the season, 10th or 11th game, Damian Pierce will get a start. It will be the start, I believe. That's what I think is going to happen when it comes to Damian. Uh, then you have Brandon Cooks and Nico as your two starting receivers. Then behind them you have Chris Moore and Chris Conley. Then you have Philip Dorsett and Connor Washington behind them. Like I said, Farrell Brown's the tight end. Brevin Jordan's is the backup. Uh, Left tackle Laramie Tunsil. Uh, Left guard is Justin McCary. Center Justin Britt. Uh, Guard is right guard is AJ Chen, and Titus Howard is the right tackle. So I mean, they're gonna have Kenyon Green coming up the bench, and they got him playing left guard. See, I don't know why this whole time I thought he was gonna be on the right side, so he's gonna be on the left side. He's gonna be next up, right, with Tunsil. I think Kenyon Green is gonna be the starter by the season. End. I'm not putting too much stock in this, but I think Kenyon Green will be the starter by the end of the season. Um, when you look at the defense, Jonathan Gennard as a DN, Malik Collins as a DT, Roy Lopez as the other DT, as the other DN. You got Jerry Hughes. Outside linebacker is Comer Gucci Trio. Middle linebacker Christian Kersey. The other outside linebacker is Kevin Porter Lewis. Then your corners, you got Steven Nelson at one corner. Opposite him, Derek Stingley Jr. Yes, Derek Stingley's. Safety is Jonathan Owens, and the other safety is Jalen Petrie. Interesting that Eric Murray is the backup safety. Eric Murray, who you paid that money to, Eric Murray, who you signed as a free agent a couple years ago, like so who you paid that money to, who you kept and retained on the contract because I think uh, it would be more cost effective to keep him than to cut him. And you won't be able to find a trade partner for him, obviously. And then you also have him as I think he's a proud card carrying member of being hot butter garbage, and he is not the starter. Has been the starter. He is not the starter, and you let Jonathan Owens. I mean, I'm sorry, Jonathan Owens, and the other safety, a rookie, in Jalen Petrie, take the starting job. That right there shows a lot. Like I said, I dropped the video talking about Darius Stingley. So if you haven't got a chance to check that out once this live stream is over, make sure you check that out. Talking about Darius Stingley, but how people have been oppressed from a national media standpoint when they've come and watched the Texans practice over training camp about how Darius Stingley looks, and he's clearly the best corner on our team. From a physical standpoint, from athleticism, talent, capabilities, things that he can do on the football field, things that a lot of people can't do, a lot of things you can't teach, and that's the reason why I love not love you, but what's his name? Nick Casario said to Cal when they during the whole draft process that there was the only guy that they was all consistent on, that all of them agreed upon was the number one and the best player on this board, best player in this draft was going to be Darius Stingley, and that's the reason why he was taken third overall. So it does not surprise me at all, in the slightest, not at all, that he's taken over the starting position before the first preseason game. Now again, these depth charts, you're talking about preseason. I know last year David Culley said they didn't mean much. I've been to some preseason games where what they have on starters is not who's playing. Um, so you could always take that with a grain of salt. I think this year's a little bit different. I think the Texans organization is a little bit more forthcoming, a little bit more honest when it comes to certain situations. They've realized who they are. They've done things a little bit differently from a social media standpoint, a media relations standpoint. I mean, obviously, you talking about the concessions earlier, dropping down the price and things like that. So there's been a lot of things that have been different over the past couple months. Um, I could definitely see. I could definitely see basically this starting list, this depth chart actually being the actual depth chart for the first preseason game. We'll see about the second preseason game. Not saying that I'm not thinking that's going to be the official depth chart for the season open. I don't think that. No, not no. It could end up being that. The depth chart could end up being that exact same way, but also could be completely different. Can be completely different as well. So I definitely think that there's a chance that there's a chance both ways. There's a chance that this depth chart absolutely means nothing, and whoever plays out there plays out there. I mean, Damian Pierce come out there number one. Brent Cooks might not play at all. Like, you just never know. Darius Stingley might not. It's just what's his name? Murray could come out there and be the starting safety. You just never know. Um, but also it could be completely honest. And that depth chart is exactly what you'll see on Saturday against the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken. I think, yeah, it's 49ers. You can see that exact same schedule. I mean, not schedule, but the exact same depth chart. So we'll see. We'll definitely see exactly what the Texans got, what the Texans got in store. We'll definitely see exactly what they have um, going forward. But I definitely Um, I ain't gonna say I'm excited. Some of the things on the depth chart, I'm like, all right, cool. It makes a whole bunch of sense. Some things on the depth chart, I'm like, don't really know where you were going with that, but okay. So not really no stupid decisions like, oh man, I can't believe they doing this. Like I don't have none of those type moments. I think everything is pretty much how you would think going into the season would be anyway. That's why I could definitely see that schedule being the schedule they end up being for the season. Like that could be. I don't think so because I think some of those guys who were listed as backups will be able to take starters roles and vice versa. I think some of those starters will digress and regress. I'm sorry, and actually not be as skilled opponent offensive players as they thought they were when you were about to sign them or did sign them. So we'll see exactly how that depth chart looks. When the season starts. But as of right now, that's going to be the depth chart for the game on Saturday. Like so, that's what the game is was looking like. How the game will shake out when it comes to the starters. I was saying the same thing. I was going to make a video about Jalen Petrie. Interesting. Make a video about Jalen Petrie. Actually have a video about Jalen Petrie on the channel, but hey, you want me to make another video about Jalen Petrie? I get it. I don't even know why Murray kept playing all the game and when he was wrong for trying to embarrass Paulo like that. I really don't matter who's starting telling him because both of them want to get. Yeah, I think they both gonna be. I think both tight ends are gonna be out there pretty regularly. At least in the beginning of the season, we'll see how the season pans out, how things trenches, how offenses evolve, and things like that. But I think from the beginning, I think the tight ends are gonna be a focal point. I think they're gonna use both of them. To be honest, Spitz, we just got our big first injury. Running back there, suffering. Don't know how much you but I don't think he was gonna be a factor. I mean, he might was having a good camp, but I don't think he was gonna be a factor. I think he might end up being a person who end up getting I just don't think he's gonna be a big factor. I just don't think he's gonna be a big factor. Reverend George is Walker, Kelsey, that was type. I mean, I don't know if he's a Walker or Kelsey or Ertz type. I ain't gonna say all that. Was good with it. Was good with it. We all know Owens was going to start playing. Murray's playing. Do you think Mills playing? Oh yeah, I definitely think Mills gonna play, and he better play. Like I said this the other day that when I watched the Jacksonville game, there was no reason why Trevor Lawrence did not play. All the rookie quarterbacks, except you can make a case for Matt Jones, but I can also make the case opposite as well. But every quarterback that was a rookie last year, which means that second year play this year, every rookie that was every rookie quarterback that's been drafted now, I feel like they all should play. Not saying they all should start, because I'm not saying all of them should start, but all of these guys definitely need to get playing time. They definitely, absolutely need to get playing time. There is no reason why these guys are not getting playoff time. I mean, playoff reps. I'm sorry. There's no excuse. There's no excuse at all. These guys need to get as many reps as they can throughout the week in practice and through on game days. They need to get as many reps as they possibly can because you don't know exactly what you can and can't do until you can and can't do it. So put me in a game where it doesn't matter to us. I mean, not say it doesn't matter to us, but a game where they can make mistakes. A game where they can make mistakes and they can advance and get better. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey man, shout out to that boy Chris. Shout out to that boy Chris for the super chat. Texas, Corbett, Corbett, Texans, Davis Mill, loves taking a hit to start the game. Is that good or good thing or concern for the future of the QB? Also, Nixon showed off improving route running. Also, Nick Collins is showing off improving route running. How you feel about that? Sports Spitz. You man, shout out to that boy Chris. Uh, no, I mean, if you're referring to the whole Pat McAfee interview, because I know I seen the Davis Mills on past podcast, I didn't get a chance to fully watch everything. I seen some clips that sound like something that would probably be said in that type of clip. Uh, that's just not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Just it's just really not a good idea. And about Nico, yes, Nico's having a sneakily good camp, and he has to, especially since Michi being out. So you're going to be depending on him a little bit more, maybe than you thought you was a couple months ago. I definitely, and also the reports is that he's been hanging out and been getting special work with Andre. So if he had to get in that work with Andre, it makes all the sense in the world because Andre likes to pass on that knowledge, and I definitely think that that will help out the Houston Texans if they do that. If they use that to your advantage, like how teams with the Rockets, players with the Rockets go out and get help from Dream, and people with the Lakers go get help from Hakeem, Hakeem, not Hakeem, but Ah, Kareem. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of Kareem's name. I couldn't get the pronouncing of it. But yeah, like to get the help from him. So I definitely think that helps with it, and that's the reason why you see better route running. Even though it's just practice, preseason, whatever, we'll see. Sure enough, by the end of this week, well, how it's going to look in a game situation, and that's how you could test out certain things. So, I definitely think it's a good situation. I definitely think that he will improve. Never don't know if he'll ever be a true full fledged number one. I definitely think he can be a solid number two and possibly be in between number two and number one. But appreciate the super chat love, Chris. I appreciate that, bro. Really appreciate that. How better how better play the I need to see how he looking in practice. Don't mean nothing. I just feel who you talking about? Hill? You talking about Hill? How, how's the run? I mean, we got to see about the running game. We definitely got to see about the running game. That's why the offensive line is going to be so crucial because it was the worst rush attack in franchise history, and it was almost one of the worst rush attacks in NFL history. It's very close. Um, Piss poor defense. Be honest with you, piss poor defense. Uh, was I mean not defense. I'm sorry. Piss poor blocking. Weren't able to wasn't able to hold blocks for running backs to get their cuts and get their holes. Now they also y'all talking about a team that also had David Johnson out there running the rock, so there is that. But we'll see. I hope the running game will be better, especially with somebody like Marlon Mack and like Damian Pierce. Hopefully the running game will be better, but we'll see. We'll see exactly how it be, but hopefully the running game will be better. Who are you most excited to see on the field this weekend? Oh, it's Stingley. Stingley, but it's a tie between both Stingley and Petrie. I definitely want to see both of them. I definitely want both of them to succeed. I definitely want to see both of them. So I definitely want to see what's going to be with them next week. Well, this week rather. I'm not talking about Mills. Who you talking about then? I don't know who you talking about. So you're not talking about me. I don't know. Davis Mills to don't what? When? I don't know. Davis Mills to don't. I don't is to I don't. Yeah, I mean I don't think we're gonna win them many games either. I really don't. I thought they said Stingley wasn't playing this weekend. If they did, I missed it. If they said Stingley not playing, I missed it. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I didn't know that he's not playing. I didn't know he was on the table. But I hope he is playing because it kind of ruins what I want to see when it comes to the team. I mean, you still have Jalen Petrie, but I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if Tunsil will play. Oh man, we don't know about Larry Tunsil. Larry Tunsil just man, I just think he just didn't want to go to training camp, but we'll see. Uh, Laramie's so up and down. Like 1 minute he here, 1 minute he there, 1 minute he here, 1 minute there. I mean, it is what it is. I just think that he just didn't want to go the OTAs. That's the reason why he was holding out. I just think he just didn't want to be at OTAs. That's really what I think. Just don't know. Just no. I don't know. So it is what it is. It definitely is what it is. But wrong. Let's see what AFC South Division. Who? Oh, I think it's gonna be the Colts. I think the Colts are gonna win the division. I think the Colts are gonna win the division. I actually think that Jacksonville. Um, I think Jacksonville's gonna be the second best team in the division. I think Jacksonville's gonna finish number two. Titans gonna finish third, and we're gonna end up no closing out the division being fourth. That's what I think. I think that's what that looks like. That's what I kind of think that looks like. What you think about Paulo? Yeah, like I said, I thought it was childish. For them to be arguing about a program like it's not an actual NBA game. It's not a preseason game. It's not an actual NBA game. It's not the playoffs. It's not the finals. It's just some pickup basketball. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. No, I really don't know. But I think my bad, y'all. My bad. My fault. My fault. Colts go win. Colts gonna win the division by 1 or 2 games max. Uh, uh, I don't, 1 or 2 games max. I don't know how many games they're going. I don't know how many. I don't know how. I don't know how many. I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't even know how many. Um. How many games they're gonna win the division by. Uh. I. You might be right because I think the Colts will probably be maybe possibly uh what I mean there's no 8-8 team, so I mean would be like 9-7, so I mean 9-8 is the equivalent to 800, so I'll say probably it probably will have 10 wins, so 10-7. I think they'll be 10-7. I think Jacksonville will be like 8-9, like close to like I think Jacksonville might be close to 500, like 8-9, maybe 7-10. And the Titans, I feel like the Titans will be the same thing. I think like both Jacksonville, I think Jacksonville and the Titans are gonna be like right together. Like they gonna be right there together. Uh, honestly, I think they're gonna be right there together. And I think that I told you I said I think the ceiling for us is 7 wins. I think we'll be lucky to win 7 games. I think it's between 5 and 6. I think like seven games, man. I think you'll be ready to throw a parade if the Texans win 8 football games next year. From a win loss standpoint, I actually think winning 8 games will actually hurt the Texans. Depend on what happens in Cleveland. Uh, depends on what happens in Cleveland because if Deshaun does get suspended for the rest of the season, um, Like if they appeal and they do maximize it to an indefinite suspension, and he's suspended for the rest of the season, I do believe that Cleveland Brown pick will be a top five pick with them having Jacoby Brissett. I think even though Cleveland is a talented team, I think with Jacoby Brissett, I think they only win in 5 games. I think they're only winning 5 football games if that's the case. Uh, so if that is the case and they only do happen to win only 5 football games, I think they'll be I think it'll be a top five pick. In that regard. I think the Texans would miss an opportunity if they happen to win too many games. Not saying they should tank. I'm not claiming tanking. I'm not saying they gonna go out there and tank. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you don't want to kind of rush to make the playoffs for unnecessarily. Like y'all know I'm a Magic fan, so y'all know I talk about this with the Magic. The Magic made a mistake back in 2019 and 2019 and 2020 when they made the playoffs both those years. They actually made a mistake, though it actually hurt the team in that regard. Um, I don't think they actually was. I don't. They actually hurt the team in that regard. I think if they would have tanked sooner, if they would have unloaded some of their talent sooner, even though I'm happy with Paulo, and I think Paulo's gonna be a good player. They could have. I mean, you could be talking about Anthony Edwards. You could be talking about LaMelo Ball. You could be possibly talking about Zion. You could be talking about John Morant. Yeah, it's those are the two classes that they missed out on. Not who say they probably wouldn't even have no one pick, but those are two classes that they missed out on by making the playoffs. Uh, Unnecessarily, a team that you end up having to blow up anyway. Um, the Texans made the playoffs just to get bounced out, and um, you still don't know. I mean, now if they make the playoffs, now things are different. Will be different if they make the playoffs and Davis Mills like he's the guy. Nico looks like he's the next coming of Andre. He's the next Andre Johnson. Pierce is a ground and pound running back. I'm not saying Aaron Foster because I don't think he has the same burst as Arian does, but just which Arian Foster light was Dominique Davis. So like a cross between Ben Tate and Dominique Davis, or Carlos Hyde. I'll give you Carlos Hyde. Like if he come out there looking like Carlos Hyde, how Carlos Hyde looked in 2019, and if obviously Stingley looks like how we think Stingley is, and Petrie and the rest in the defense look like how we imagine the defense to be, that's different. Then okay, I'm with making the playoffs, but I'm not talking about just making the playoffs with a bad football team, just to get into the playoffs, just to win some game, or, or, or to win enough games to miss the playoffs, but also not get a top 15 pick. Like that's the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario for the Texans, the worst case scenario for the Texans is that the worst case scenario for the Texans is that they don't make the playoffs, but also don't draft in the top 10. Like that's the worst case scenario for the Texans. That they miss the playoffs, that they win 8, they go 8-9, 9-8. They in that ball frame, and you still got questions about Davis Mills, like. Well, we won some games, but we really don't know. Like, we really don't know about Davis Mills. We seen flashes with Nico, but we really don't know. I mean, Damian Pierce was okay, but if there's still questions and you won more games that you were supposed to win or that you thought you would win. Because there's a difference if you have questions, but your team only won 3 games and you got questions on people. Then those questions are easy to answer because you're like, okay, we weren't a good football team or a good team, period. It's time to move forward in this direction. We need to do something over here. We need to make this shake over here or around there. if that's the case. Or obviously, if you winning football games, making the playoffs, things like that, you probably won't have all those questions. There's no way that the Texans could be a playoff team and still have questions on that match right now. You might have questions still because you could be a playoff team and have questions about your quarterback. Look at the Texans back in 17 with Davis, not 17, 16 with Brock Osweiler. You could have uh make the playoffs and have questions about your ground game. The 2018 Houston Texans. You could have you could make the playoffs and have questions about your defense. The Kansas City Chiefs, like the Kansas City Chiefs. Like you could have questions about certain aspects of the team here and there. You had Kansas City Chiefs as well. Well, I think it was 2010 made the playoffs. It didn't have any receiver. It didn't have any receiver catch a touchdown pass or have 100-yard games throughout the whole season, and they made the playoffs. Also, a receiving core that was coached by David Culley, by the way. But that's a conversation for another day. Just bad high. But had questions. So you can still have questions on Nico and whooping tight ends and offensive line and all these type of things and make the playoffs. But you can't have questions about all those things still. You can have questions about all those things and make the playoffs. If you have a question about all those things, more than likely 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a bottom feeder team. But there is a chance that you could be a mediocre 500. And we know it's not 500 no more, but a mediocre 500-ish team. Like I say, 9-8, 8-9 type situation, which would be 500-ish, mediocre-ish, and have a question about all those things or a lot of those things, the majority of those things. That is possible. That is capable. That is a possibility. And that would be the worst situation because you play yourself out of a draft pick because we're not drafting the top 10 outside of what happens with the Cleveland pick, and you didn't win enough games to enjoy a playoff push, or you also don't have questions. I mean, you don't have answers to the questions. You have more questions than answers when it comes to certain players in key parts, in key situations, in key positions, in key roles of said team. That will be the worst case scenario, the worst case situation, if that was to happen, if that was to rear its ugly head, if something like that would be to happen. So that right there would be a bad situation. So because of that, you really you don't want to play around with it. And you don't want to be like I said, you don't want to be a mediocre team. You don't want to be really good or really bad. You don't want to be mediocre because mediocre just puts you actually in a worse spot. It actually does. It puts you in a worse spot. And sometimes some teams can't come out of that. Some teams can't come out of that worst spot. I think this team will be fine. Like I said, I don't think they'll be like a mediocre team because the team, even though I'm excited about this team and I can't wait for Saturday. Y'all really don't know. I can't wait for Saturday. One thing that I am agitated about that I did not like. Nick Casario said this I think last week. About this team is that no joint practices. They weren't going to do the joint practices this year. He said maybe, and the way he kind of phrased it was like maybe we not in the rebuild no more. Like maybe either when we not in a rebuild or when the rebuild, like the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to the rebuild is right there. Like we know we got a direction. We still might be technically in a rebuild, but we have a direction. We know where we heading because they don't know where they heading, and not on a they confused. They don't know. I'm not saying that. Is that they don't know what they want to do. If the Texans were afforded, especially with having, and now they got 2 first-round picks, but if the Texans were afforded the first pick in the draft, They don't know what they would do right now. They don't know if they will go after Willie Anderson, which I know Wise and Wink are over there probably pounding the fist to go after Willie Anderson, go after Willie Anderson, or will they drag C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young? And that's a conversation in itself. Well, do you take a quarterback? And if you take a quarterback, which quarterback are you taking? Like, I don't think they know. And I said not because they're confused, because they gotta do more evaluation. They gotta know exactly what they have in Mills. They gotta know exactly what they have in Nico. They gotta know exactly what they have in Kenyon Green. They gotta know exactly what they have in Darius Stingley. They gotta know exactly what they have in Jalen Petrie. They gotta know exactly what they have in Damian Pierce. They gotta know what they have in Tyus Howard. They gotta know can they depend on Larry Tunsil. Like things like that. Like they don't know exactly where it's going and where it's heading up. They really don't know. And because they don't know exactly where it's going, if it's going here, if it's going there, if it's going over here, if it's going over there, because they don't know that, they pump the brakes. We don't know exactly where we're going. We're still in the rebuild in the beginning stages. This is year one of the rebuild. We not ready for team practices just yet. Now maybe next year they could be because hey, Davis Mills can go out there and assert himself and be the guy this year. And okay, now we boom. Now we ready. We locked and loaded. We ready to go. Full steam, and be able to and be able to what's the word I'm looking for go full steam and be able to go out there and and go out and practice with another football team and actually get something out of the joint practice. Like that is a possibility. That is a possibility. Definitely is. But of something that could happen. Or or even if they draft a QB, who knows? Who knows? Even they did that. Okay, we know exactly where we at. We know what we know where we're going. Like we know exactly where we're going with now. We didn't know a year ago. Now we know which road we're taking. So that was my one thing I didn't like about not the no joint practices, but I get it, I understand it. But I do enjoy when they do the joint practices. Like I said, I enjoy the preseason game. I think this preseason it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna be covering the preseason a little bit different as well. I'm gonna be live streaming the preseason games. So yeah, make sure y'all come and check those out. Come check out the live streams of the preseason, so you'll be able to get my full reaction. Y'all can see me like, no, like y'all will get to see my actual live reaction to the Texans preseason game. So and y'all see exactly my full assessment how I'm breaking stuff down. So y'all will see that. Um, um, like I said, a lot of different stuff coming this season. Like I said, it's gonna be a good football season. Don't know how many wins the team is gonna have, but it is going to be a good season. The way we're approaching things, like I said, it's the weekly lives are still gonna be there. Still gonna do the game breakdowns. Got the weekly lives, the weekly videos. Like I said, when it comes to the weekly lives, if y'all weren't here last week, I mentioned this last week. When it comes to weekly lives, I'm gonna be doing a lot of different stuff. A lot of different stuff from previews from all the games, a look at college football, especially if the Texans will be looking for a quarterback or looking for no, I'm be looking for prospects who to be watching because we were looking at prospects mid-season last year. A lot of the guys in the round table, we were looking at prospects. I mean, some of these guys already knew, like Wise and Wink already knew some of these other guys. Ray is on 2025 draft right now, 2026 draft. He already there. Like Ray is already up there when it's talking about looking at prospects for the future. So we gonna it's gonna be Saturday previews for the games, Thursday breakdown. So breakdown from the Thursday night game, whatever the primetime game was on Thursday. Breakdown from that. Also, fancy alerts will flash up as well. We had some fancy alerts and who y'all sleeping on, who should be a guy y'all should go target, trade for, who y'all should start bench, things like that. Man, gonna be full too deep into it because gonna have a lot of other stuff to be talking about, but these are some of the things that will be floating around. So it's going to be It's going to be a good season. See, I'll make sure y'all keep up with the channel. Like I say, shout out to Fox 26, shout out to Sauce Sports, everybody there. Man, shout out to Sauce Nation, shout out to y'all, shout out to Houston. Like I say, shout out to everybody there, Sauce Sports, all the whole round table, Wise, Ray Wink, Tenny, Hector, Swisher, Honcho. Man, shout out to everybody out there. You already know what it is. The season's gonna be a very interesting season, and the preseason starts Saturday. We all know when the regular season starts. Hey, like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get my videos. I holla.